President Chartrand, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us about the facilities you're looking at building in Treeherne, which is about an hour and a half southwest of Winnipeg?
Well, thank you for that question, Dennis. In fact, we have several fronts of how we're moving forward to address the pandemic pertaining to isolation of our citizens. We have purchased 5 tiny homes from British Columbia. They're already here in Winnipeg. We're furnishing them as we speak right now. And upon any family that gets affected, we're, of course, going to move that trailer and mobile home into that community, address the family issue, and move the person out of that into that isolation unit. So this way we can keep it out of the family, out of the rest of the families in the community. We're also, in fact, working on a much larger scale of production. We have a 248-man camp in Treeherne, which is, you're right, a little an hour southwest of Winnipeg. That's already ready to go. It'll take 96 patients. We're only right now, our major goal is trying to find nurse practitioners or health skillful individuals that can deal with issues of pandemic if it does come true, and we got to use it. But we sent a message loud and clear. This is not just going to be for the Métis, be for Manitoba if necessary. We also, Dennis, want to share, we got another 48-man camp in Winnipeg. We have our team now working on that camp to get it all ready. So that's just, of course, for people that do not know where it is. It's probably about 3.5 hours from Winnipeg north. So that's going to be ready also to be available and for utilization for Manitobans and the Métis people.
What can you tell us about these camps? What do they look like? What will they be used for?
Well, in fact, they were our work camps. They do take 48. They have a full kitchen, they have a gymnasium. They got different things attached to it. So we have all types of services. You name it. It's eligible to be fully compatible to take the needs of the individuals staying inside them. They have their own television networks. We're just hooking that up right now. But each of them will have their own televisions in their rooms, and it's like a little hotels. But it sets the stage now that they're in isolation. We're also building a fence around it to make sure that people in Treeherne and the surrounding communities don't panic and say, well, you're bringing all the sick people to our community. Right. You're going to spread the germs to us. So we're also building a fence around these sites to make sure their safety in regards to the people around Treeherne.
The MMF has also been asked to put funding into Thunderbird House in Winnipeg, which is a spiritual gathering place for Indigenous people. This would create a COVID-19 testing site for the homeless. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, there's several fronts. In fact, we called a meeting of all the homeless community organizations to see what their needs are. We're also looking at funding some of these homeless initiatives that are happening out there. We have very strong reserves and concerns regarding their food banks are running short of supplies. So we're looking at giving support both from contents of product, but at the same time financial support. So one of the asks that has come forward is that when we are meeting the homeless organizations, Winnipeg Regional Health Authority was there, the City of Winnipeg, Salvation Army, Salome Mission, and End Homelessness. They approached us to see if we could put money towards Thunderbird House, because Thunderbird House is actually shut down right now. The doors are closed. My understanding is their washrooms aren't working, their infrastructure is in dire need. So we indicated we definitely would put support towards that. But I just got some troubling news just now on that issue. Thank you for that question, Dennis. Apparently they're looking at charging us $40,000 of rent to use it. So, but I'm a little puzzled in that position because I have no problem spending money to fix the washrooms and get it up and ready for the homelessness to be tested in a place for them to go, their own place. But for us to start paying $40,000 rent for an institution that was built for the purpose of homelessness has me a little concerned. So my minister told me he's very concerned about that. But we already sent in some of our construction people in there to look at it, and we're definitely willing to put the money up to help in this time of need.
Well, we'll keep on top of that with you. We'll have to leave it there. President Chartrand, thanks for joining us.
And again, thank you, APTN, for keeping up the news. And if I can send some message your way, Dennis, there's 15 now that's been announced by Minister Miller, Indigenous Affairs, that have been affected in Canada. We had a discussion also with the branch chiefs today. And some of the concerns we are talking about is that they're not sharing with us where. And it worries us a lot, Dennis, because how do we react as Métis governments and First Nation governments if they're not going to share where? Because if we can know a community, we can know location, then we can put a strategy and a plan around it as fast as we can. But if we're going to be kept in the dark, then how can we help our people properly? So I know our people are scared enough as it is. We're trying to push both federal and provincial governments. They need to share with Indigenous governments. If it's somebody's being affected in the community, we're not going to blame them. We need to protect them and their families. So you need to share that information to us. So we'll keep you posted on that, and we'll look forward to seeing what we can do to make a difference for all Indigenous people in Manitoba.
Absolutely. President Chartrand, thanks again.
Thank you, Dennis.